Okay, good afternoon, everyone. It's right at 2 o'clock.
We cannot see you.
We're going to start in courtroom 3 this afternoon.
Yes, Your Honor, but we cannot see you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well this afternoon. Looks like my camera's not working. Let me get off and get back on and see if we can get this working.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, because I came in before I able to see you back. I'm good.
Oh.
All right, there we go. Again, good afternoon, everyone. Are we ready to start? We started in courtroom 3 this afternoon.
Yes, Your Honor.
Let's see, the SAP reset date is going to be July 26th. Who are we starting with today?
Position number 10, Miss Knox.
And who's representing Ms. Knox this afternoon?
Good afternoon, Wanda Gant, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Ms. Gant. Good afternoon, Ms. Knox. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Ms. Knox, you've been charged in case 22 CR 004482G with speeding, expired or no license on person, willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer, giving false information to a law enforcement officer, and terroristic threats. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
13 total. Last was in June. Obstruction, driving without a valid license. Fayetteville, Fayette County. 2021, failed to appear and suspended license. 2021, suspended license conviction. 2019, no low for driving without a valid license. 2018, suspended license as well. I got a shoplifting conviction, 2013. Probation from 2013. And a 2012 simple battery conviction.
Okay. Good afternoon, Ms. Mitchell.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. In this case, the defendant was caught speeding on I-285 by going 99 miles per hour in a 65 miles per hour zone. So that's 34 miles over the speed limit. Officers observed defendant switching seats with the passenger. When stopped and approached by officers, the defendant denied switching seats and provided officers with a fake name and birth date of Jatika Boyd, birth date September 14, 1993. The defendant refused to comply with officers' commands by attempting to go back into the vehicle after being instructed not to do so, by being uncooperative, and by resisting arrest to the point where she was trying to hide under the car and cut her hand while trying to hang on to the undercarriage of the car. Officers took the defendant to Grady Hospital to get her hand checked. The defendant claimed to be pregnant during her arrest. When the hospital staff notified officers that the defendant wasn't pregnant like she said she was, the defendant got upset and threatened officers and the Grady Hospital staff by stating, quote, "Fuck all y'all, I'll burn that bitch down. I'm gonna knock somebody the F out. I'm gonna hurt somebody," and so on and so on. The list of threats are in the warrant. The defendant did not have a valid license at the time of the incident. Your Honor, there's a current bond of $7,000 surety. So that's gonna be $3,000 as to count one and $1,000 as to all the other counts. And the state's gonna request that that bond be reduced to the following: $1,000 surety as to count one, $500 surety as to count two, $250 count three, $250 count four, and $500 count for count five, totaling a $2,500 surety bond. no driving without a valid license, and no alcohol, drugs, and weapons. Your Honor, the defendant's risk of reoffending is high in this case. She has a record of driving with a suspended license or without a valid license. Those include convictions from 2021, 2019, two offenses in 2019, or convictions in 2019, conviction in 2015. And then she also has a driving without valid license that appears to be open in Fayette County that happened in June of this year. So based on that, her history, we are recommending the $2,500 surety in this case. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gant.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Jatika Knox is 28 years old. She has been in the Atlanta, Georgia area for 6 years. She's married and has been so for 1.5 years. She is the proud mother of 3 children, ages 10, 8, and 7. Her children live with her and her husband. She completed the 11th grade. She is currently employed as a transporter at Hartsfield Airport. We are denying the allegations, Your Honor. I do acknowledge my client's prior history. She is presumed innocent in these cases. I am requesting a signature bond, Your Honor, and if Your Honor determines that she is ineligible, then I would ask for a split bond, Your Honor. A total bond of $1,000, and for the willful obstruction and the terroristic threats, I am requesting a $500 surety bond for each and signature bonds for the remaining. And if Your Honor determines that she is ineligible for a split bond, then I would ask the court for a bond of no more than $1,750. That would be $500 for the willful obstruction, $500 for terroristic threats, and $250 for the remaining driving offenses. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, it is going to be a split bond for the speeding, $500 good bond, for the expired or no license, a $500 good bond. The remaining bonds will be $250 for each charge, $250 SOB through the jail. So it's for the first 2 charges, $1,000 good bond. For the remaining charges, it will be $750 SOB through the jail, no driving without a valid license, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank
All right.
you, Your Honor.
Good luck to you, Ms. Knox.
And Your Honor, if I may, I will need a breakout for position number 1.
Okay, and you're waiving, that's the case from yesterday, is that correct, Ms. Gant?
Yes, Your Honor.
So we'll do that at the end of the calendar since there is a waiver, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Who do we have next?
Next we have position number 5, Ms. Harris.
Good afternoon, Ms. Harris. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, good morning, yes.
Yes, good afternoon, Ms. Harris. You have been charged in case 22CR004479D with simple battery. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
No.
Ms. Mitchell?
Yes, Your Honor, in this case, the defendant battered Miss Melinda, spelled Molinda, Woods by pushing and hitting her. Another victim was also injured, Miss Crystal Harris, and she stated she was just walking out to her car, and while doing so, the defendant walked up to her and started hitting her. During the fight, the defendant also pushed her own 2-year-old daughter. According to the police report, Miss Crystal, the other victim, suffered from scratches and abrasions on her neck and arms. We will be adding another charge for this victim. As far as Miss Woods goes, she was actually standing outside her door trying to record the fight, and the defendant saw her recording, walked up to her, hit her phone, and then started hitting her. Officers were able to view the footage of the defendant walking up to Miss Woods and hitting her. Miss Woods suffered from visible injuries to her leg. All parties are neighbors at the Windsor Square Townhomes located at 3804 MLK Junior Drive. Northwest Atlanta, Georgia. Your Honor, our victim advocate had an opportunity to speak with Ms. Woods. And she confirmed that they were neighbors, but they've never spoken before, and she didn't know the defendant prior to this incident. And she said that she does have the recording of her fighting with Miss Crystal Harris, who's not related to this defendant in any way. And of her walking up to her, Miss Woods, and then attacking her. And I believe Miss Woods is on the Zoom call today. As far as the recommendation goes, the state's recommending $2,000 surety bond, no further contact with both victims, Miss Melinda Woods and Crystal Harris. Stay away from the incident location. BHET, being that she hit two people unprovoked, well, two neighbors unprovoked, and she also did that in front of her 2-year-old daughter, who she then pushed during the attack. A 1-day anger awareness course, and no alcohol, drugs, and weapons. Thank you.
I don't see Ms. Woods on the call. Is Melinda Woods present?
Oh,
Okay.
she stated she would, she might not be.
Okay, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure. Thank you, Ms. Mitchell. It's going to be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial, 1-day anger awareness, no further contact with the alleged victims. I'm not going to make her stay away from Windsor Square if she lives in Windsor Square, but I am going to have no further contact with the alleged victims, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Okay. Good luck to you, Ms. Harris. And I think, is that fine with you, Ms. Camp?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you.
Okay, good luck to you, Ms. Harris.
Thank you.
Your
Next,
Honor, Ms. Woods was on the line as Brad Johnson's parent, just notifying you.
I'm sorry, Ms. Mitchell.
Ms. Woods, what is on the Zoom call? Melinda Woods. I was just notifying you since she messaged the chat.
Okay. I don't see her. Does she want to speak? Do you want to speak, Ms. Woods? Okay. Who do we have next?
Next, we have position number 3, Ms. Franklin.
Good afternoon, Ms. Franklin. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Speak up, please. Yes.
Thank you, Ms. Franklin. You've been charged in case 22 CR 004476Y with simple assault. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Third arrest, October 2021 battery, conviction out of Leon County, Florida. 2020 Alabama family offense, harassment. That was a conviction. She's a resident of Millbrook, Alabama.
Ms. Mitchell?
Yes, Your Honor, in this case, the defendant assaulted Ms. Haquincha, spelled Haqueensa, Johnson, by attempting to attack and fight her at the Atlanta Metropolitan State College, located at 1630 Metropolitan Parkway, Atlanta, Georgia. It started with a verbal dispute between the defendant and Ms. Johnson over a project presentation. The defendant got angry with the class professor and became hostile and verbally aggressive before stepping into the professor's face. The defendant then directed her attention back to Ms. Johnson and charged toward her in an attempt to attack and fight her. Ms. Johnson was pregnant at the time and feared for both her and her unborn child's safety. Other classmates had to intervene and hold the defendant back. As a result of the incident, Ms. Johnson went into physical duress and was forced to prematurely deliver her baby that same day. Your Honor, the state's recommendation is going to be a $3,000 surety, no further contact with Ms. Johnson, to stay away from the incident location, 1-day anger awareness course, and no alcohol, drugs, and weapons. We do have we have concerns about defendant's ties to the community. She appears to be a multi-state offender and was born in Florida and resides in Alabama. Not sure if she's just here for school. And the fact that she attacked a pregnant classmate and caused her to deliver a baby early. Based on the violent nature of those allegations, we are recommending the $3,000 surety bond. Nothing further, Your Honor.
So you want her to stay away from the school, Ms. Mitchell?
I don't know her status. I don't know if she graduated, because that was April of this year. I don't know the status.
So if she's in school, can she go back to the school? If she's not in school, she has no reason to be there? What would the state like?
I'm not sure if the school allows remote, but the fact that she attacked a pregnant classmate in the classroom and was aggressive toward the professor, I'm not sure if she is safe to be in that environment, if the school even allows her there after this incident.
Okay, I was just trying to ascertain what the state wanted so that I could make a note of that, so.
We would prefer to stay away.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Gant?
Thank you, Your Honor. Miss Alexis Franklin is 25 years old. She informs me that she has been in the Atlanta, Georgia area for 2 years. She is attending school here, Your Honor. We are opposed to the stay away at the incident location. Ms. Franklin informs me that she is still a student there. She is in her last semester. She has a few more weeks to go. She is currently attending and hopes to attain a degree in general studies, an associate's degree. She informs me that Ms. Chatfield still is a professor there. She does not know the status of the complaining witness, Ms. Haquincha Johnson, nor the status of Jamaica Stanford. But I would ask the court for a no violent contact order, being that they're all students and we don't want to have Ms. Franklin precluded from continuing her studies at the school. She is presumed innocent and she denies these allegations, Your Honor. Ms. Franklin is currently employed. She works full-time. She's working at a temporary agency. However, she has not been consistent with her employment. She has devoted most of her time to her studies, Your Honor. She does have a job lined up after she graduates. This is her third arrest, Your Honor. I am requesting a signature bond. If Your Honor determines that she is ineligible for a signature bond, I would ask for a bond of no more than $1,000. And again, we are opposed to any stayaways and would ask for no violent contact for the students and the professor at the college. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Johnson, I see you there. If you'd like to address the court, I'll need for you to raise your right hand for me. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, you can put your hand down, ma'am. What would you like to tell the court?
I personally would not like for her to be able to go back to the school. I still actually have to continue 2 more semesters. I won't be graduating until May. And due to the account of the situation, the assault happened on that day, but there was prior aggression from the first day of class, which was the beginning of January. So there's always been an animosity and a hostility coming from her. And I don't want to be put in a predicament where, even though I'm no longer pregnant, that I have to defend myself again or be in that type of setting with her.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Johnson. Are you all still in the same class?
Not at the moment. The class, of course, ended, but we were in 2 separate classes where we had marriage and family together, as well as abnormal psychology. I completed those classes, but there's always a possibility of ending up in another class together or walking by each other on campus.
Okay. Does your school have the possibility of remote learning, Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, but I'm not sure if, depending on what classes she may have to take, if those classes are remote.
Okay. Anything further, ma'am?
No.
All right. Ms. Mitchell, anything further?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Gant,
Yes, Your Honor.
what were you telling me as far as when your client is going to graduate?
She tells me that she is in her last semester and she has a few more weeks to go before she completes her studies. And I do not know if she will be attending graduation on campus, and we certainly would like for her to be able to be on campus for that if there is an in-person ceremony, Your Honor.
All right, are you graduating, Ms. Johnson? I take it you're not graduating, Ms. Johnson.
Graduation is held in the spring of every for the schooling. So we will be graduating together in that spring of 2023 if she was to continue attending the school.
Well,
Okay.
that is not what my client tells me, Your Honor.
Okay, so it's going to be $1,000 good bond. No further contact with Ms. Johnson. I'm going to allow her to finish out the school year or to finish out her classes. But she is to have absolutely no contact with Ms. Johnson whatsoever. If she needs to enroll in any other classes, she cannot enroll in any classes that Ms. Johnson is in. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. All right, so I don't want to preclude someone from completing their education, but at the same time, I don't want to subject Ms. Johnson to any, to having to be around Ms. Franklin, okay? All right, thank you, Ms. Johnson. Good luck to you and your school. You also, Ms. Franklin.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
$1,000 good.
Next, we have petition number 12, Miss Mcdaniel.
Good afternoon, Ms. McDaniel. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor. Good afternoon.
Thank you. Ms. McDaniel, you've been charged in case 22 CR 004487E with theft by taking. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
A second. She was arrested in May and Gwinnett for theft by taking. That's open. A resident of Indianapolis, according to the booking sheet.
Okay. Afternoon, Mr. Segura.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. This occurred back in December 24th, 2021, in which officers went to the Alice Candy. It's a store located in the Lenox Square Shopping Center at 3393 Peachtree Road, Northeast, in which officers responded to a larceny call. Officers made contact with the owner of Alice Candy, a Mr. Enoch Salta. Enoch spelled I-N-A-N-C, Salta, S-A-L-T-A, who said that his former employee, the defendant, stole money from the cash register and also took an Apple iPad. He said that he was training, that the defendant was recently hired at the Alice Candy and she was training her. At some point, he left her alone at that kiosk for about 6 hours. And during that time, when he came back to the kiosk, he saw that his register was empty, in which there was $478.59 missing, and also an Apple iPad was missing as well. He tried to call the defendant multiple times, but was unsuccessful in making contact with her. Alongside, when he tried to look at the cameras at the kiosk, which was facing the register, he noticed that the defendant disconnected the cables, and thus there was no video footage of it. And because of this, we're asking for a $2,000 surety bond, no alcohol, drugs, and weapons are out on bond, and a stay away from Alice Candy, located at 3393 Peachtree Road, Atlanta. Our recommendations are based on these facts, and we're concerned that she has a lack of community ties as she is a resident of Indianapolis. And we're concerned of risk of reoffense as she does have that open theft by taking case in Gwinnett from May 25th, 2022. And as such, we feel surety bond is reasonable. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mrs. Segura. Ms. Kim?
Yes.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. McDaniel is 19 years old, actually, Your Honor. She came to Georgia about a year ago to continue her high school. She is 12th grade and she wanted to complete the last year, but she could not do that. And she wants to go back to school. And she denies allegation. Of course, there was no enough evidence to prove that it was her actually who did that. And she is actually currently homeless. She does not have much support here in Georgia. And but she has no other place to go either at this point. So we are actually connecting her with the social worker services so she can get some housing resources and other help. And we would like to request for signature on bond. She already served 47 days at Gwinnett County. She was incarcerated for another death by taking because she couldn't pay for the bond. She stayed whole 47 days, and it would be very difficult for her to pay for any kind of bond. So we would like to request for a signature on bond. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Segura, is this Lenox Square
It is, yes.
Mall? Okay. So it's going to be a $3,000 signature bond through the jail. Ms. Kim, if you'll have a social worker go out to make sure that she gets some help with her residents. Stay away from all of Lenox Mall. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good luck to you, Ms. McDaniels.
Thank you. Next, we have position 13, Ms. Mitchell.
Good afternoon, Ms. Mitchell. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. You've been charged in case 22 CR 004486Y with possession of marijuana less than an ounce. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
No, it's a first arrest.
Mr. Segura?
This occurred yesterday, July the 11th, 2022, at the Old National Highway at Sullivan Road, Atlanta. In this instance, the officer found that the defendant had a green leafy substance which had an odor, which was wrapped in a brown paper towel located inside of a plastic cup inside of the defendant's purse. Based on his charge as well, taking into account this being her first arrest, the state is requesting a $1,000 signature bond and no alcohol, drugs, and weapons were out on bond.
Okay, it's $1,000 signature bond through the jail. No drugs or alcohol while out on bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you, Ms. Mitchell.
Thank you. Next, we have position 14, Ms. Nelson.
Good afternoon, Ms. Nelson. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, I do.
Thank you, Ms. Nelson. You've been charged in case 22 CR 004488A with 2 counts of reckless conduct. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Third arrest. Last was May 2021 for DUI, selling marijuana. 2013 ag assault conviction.
Mr. Segura?
This occurred yesterday, July the 11th, 2022, at 2400 Parkland Drive, Northeast Atlanta. In this case, also responding to abandoned children 911 call at that location, in which they spoke with their caller, Miss Dinessa Brown. And she stated that there were 2 abandoned children that are identified as A King and C King, who A King is about 3 years old and C King is about the same, around 2 years old, who playing alone on the sidewalk outside of a residence. When officers located the 2 children, the 3-year-old child, the A King, was able to bring the officers to the home residence. At that point, they met with the defendant, who was the mother of the 2 children, who stated that she fell asleep and was not aware that the children were being outside alone along the roadways. When police tried to get more information, they found out that this exact same thing happened 3 days prior to this incident, and thus the defendant was arrested. Because of this egregious nature of leaving children under 4 years old to be alone near a roadway, we're asking for a $3,000 surety bond, $1,500 for each count. And we're also asking for no alcohol, drugs, and weapons. Again, this is an extreme and egregious act with 2 children under the ages of 4 were left outside by themselves, and that this not only happened once, but twice. So we feel like a surety bond is appropriate in this case. Thank you, Your Honor.
Is defects involved in this case, Mr. Segura?
It is. It says the one that defects is also aware of this previous incident as well, too.
So they are involved.
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor, we would like to request for a signature on bond as pretrial services also recommended. She had no intention. She's a single mother, working really hard. She has to support all by herself, and she's realizing that she is reaching the limit. So she's asking for help from her grandmother. So she's gonna be staying with her grandmother who can help 2 children. There was no intention to harm her kids. She's just really grateful. Nobody was harmed, and she feels terrible about falling asleep. We would like to request for a signature on bond, and she's assuring that this will never happen again. Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Howard, I didn't see her on the recommendation list. And Ms. Kim,
Oh, I saw that at the pretrial report.
I didn't put it down for jail.
I don't have her on the list for either the jail or
Jail is
pretrial.
fine. Jail is fine.
Okay. All right, so it's going to be $1,000 signature bond for each count, $2,000 signature bond through the jail. She's to abide by any defects, orders, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good luck to you, Ms. Nelson.
Thank you.
Next, we have position 15, Ms. Polite.
Good afternoon, Ms. Polite. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 22 CR 004489J with false report of a crime. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Yeah, 17 total. Last arrest was June 2021, terrorist threats, unlawful conduct during 911 call. That was out of Chatham County. She got open case for transmitting a false public alarm, 2 counts.
Transmitting what? I'm sorry.
Transmitting a false public alarm.
Okay.
On probation for false report of a crime and terrorist threats out of Gwinnett. She got a lot of charges, a lot of arrests anyway for 911 misconduct, South Carolina and Georgia. She got other terrorist threats arrests as well. Like I said, 2020. Another 2020. Transmitting false alarm 2018, 2020. False report conviction 2014. Harassing phone calls 2011.
Okay.
It's the same
Thank you.
stuff.
Thank you, Mr. Howard. Mr. Segura?
Convicted on June the 22nd, 2021. In this case, the defendant called the DeKalb County Police Communications and said that an explosion would occur on the downtown connector, and then she hung up. Notifications were made to the Atlanta Police Department as well as the Georgia State Patrol. They'll get some information from trying to match the call from the phone who called them, and they have to find out what came from the defendant. Alongside, they found out that this exact same defendant has a history as back in March the 30th, 2021. She said that there was a bomb, that she had a bomb at the Atlanta Police Headquarters. Alongside, on March the 14th, 2001, she said she also had a bomb and she was going to kill everyone. And because of this, the state is recommending a $3,000 surety bond, no alcohol, drugs, and weapons, and a BHET. The state feels that a surety bond as well as the BHET is appropriate in these actions, because not only has she commenced these bomb-like incidents and calls within the time period, she also has a history of making false and harassing 911 calls, as pretrial noted. back in 2018, the transmitting false public alarm, as well as the 2019 unlawful conduct on 911 call, and as long which that she was guilty. And she also has other similar cases in the last couple of years, where she was a false report of crime in 2020, an unlawful request for emergency services, and 2021 unlawful request for emergency services as well. Alongside, she has not only committed similar crimes in Georgia, she also has a criminal history in South Carolina. The latest being in 2019 about using a 911 call unlawfully when she was found to be guilty, which in that case, she also has guilty convictions for that same crime in 2017 and 2018. Because it's long history of making similar threats and calls, we do feel like a BHET is appropriate in this case. Thank you.
What was the, I'm sorry, Mr. Segura, what was the request as far as the amount of the bond?
Yeah, 3,000 surety.
Okay. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor, we would like to request for a signature on bond, of course. However, due to the fact that she's on probation and previous history, if Your Honor is not inclined to give her a signature on bond, we would like to request for maximum $1,000 surety bond. She is 37 years old and she has been here in Georgia for 27 years. She's not going anywhere. She has been working at McDonald's for last 17 years. And she has a family members like parents and brother and sisters. She has no children. She's not married, and she has completed her high school degree, a high school graduation. And we would like to request for BHET. Absolutely, I totally agree with that. And $500 each count, total of $1,000 surety bond, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, if you'll prepare the MHET, Ms. Kim.
He has a boy, Your Honor, behavioral health by social worker services, so they can analyze before they determine whether they need MHET.
Okay, well, I'm requesting that she get an MHET.
Sure.
It's going to be a $3,000 good bond, MHET, and no use of 911 unless an actual emergency. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Good luck to you, Ms. Polite.
Your Honor, what was her bond amount?
3,000 good surety.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That's what you requested, correct, Mr. Segura?
It is, yes.
Okay. Who do we have next?
Next position 16, Ms. Sanders.
Good afternoon, Ms. Sanders. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. You've been charged in case 22 CR 004491C with battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
No, I was waiting on confirmation. But yeah, I'll take her.
Okay, no
So
history?
that's why she wasn't on the list. Yes.
Okay, thank
First
you.
arrest.
Thank you. Mr. Segura?
Police officers responded to a dispute call at the incident location of 2001 Sylvan Road, Southwest Atlanta, in which they spoke with the victim, Mr. Travis Stevenson. Travis, spelled T-R-A-V-I-S, Stevenson, common spelling, who stated that the defendant, who was the shelled murder of the 12-year-old son, started an argument with him, which became physical. At that point, the defendant grabbed a bottle and struck Mr. Stevenson in the face, which caused a swollen right eye and a cut under it. At this point, when officers came to speak with the defendant, she admitted as much too. Because of this, the state is recommending a $5,000 surety bond, one-day anger awareness class, narco, drugs, and weapons, a stay away from the 2001 Sylvan Road, Southwest Atlanta location, no further contact with Travis Stevenson, an adult party transfer of their son. The explanations of based on these facts, as well as special concerns by the safety of Mr. Stevenson, as this was a verbal argument that exploded into she using a bottle and then injuring him in the face, which caused swelling. And alongside, we don't feel that there's not a long enough cooling off period as this incident only occurred last night at around 12. Thank you, Your Honor.
Has your office spoken with Mr. Stevenson, Mr. Segura?
We attempted to, but he wouldn't pick up the call, so it was unsuccessful.
Thank you, Ms. Kim.
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Sanders is 42 years old and she is married. She's a stay-at-home mom right now. She has not had a job for the last half a year. She has 12th grade of education, and if they live together, of course, as married couple, and they have 3 children together. If she gets to stay away from that location, she has to stay at the hotel. We would like to request for no further violent contact, Your Honor. And also, we would like to request for signature on bond, as this is her first incident, and pretrial services also recommended so. And that's it, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Kim, have you spoken with Mr. Stevenson?
No, I could not reach him either.
Okay, so you know that I can't allow her to go back into that household unless somebody speaks with him and gets his wishes. As such, it's going to be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial, 1-day anger awareness. At this point in time, no further contact with Mr. Stevenson, and stay away from the 2001 Sullivan Road address. She can go back to that address on one occasion to retrieve any belongings that she might have there. There's to be third-party transfer of the children. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Certainly, if Mr. Stevenson is contacted by contacts either the solicitor's office, or you get in touch with him, Ms. Kim, if his wishes are different, then I'm certainly willing to at least hear a modification of the bond amount. Okay.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. Good luck to you, ma'am.
That's it from the court on 3, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you. We'll see you
You're welcome.
next time. Thank you. All right. So we're headed to courtroom 2.
Sir, this is number 21, Mr. Walker.
All right. Good afternoon, Mr. Walker. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. You've been charged in case 22 CR 004495D with simple battery. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Yeah, I see 11 cycles. I think he been in jail since January. He had an ag battery and ag assault. 2020 probation violation with burglary, ag assault, cruelty in the third underlying charge. 2019 probation. 2018 FTA for cocaine and possession of marijuana. 2018 probation violation. 2017 simple battery conviction. Yeah, that's pretty much it. We got FTA from 2013.
Mr. Segura?
This occurred on January the 6th, 2022, at a restaurant called Sturdy Vegan, located at 1542 Ralph David Abernathy Boulevard, Atlanta. In this case, I also spoke with the victim, Mr. William Berry, William common spelling Berry, B-E-R-R-Y. She said he was physically assaulted by the defendant. In fact, the way he said it was that Mr. Berry spoke with the defendant about getting a vehicle removed from his property, and that he needed to retrieve his items before Mr. Berry does. At that point, the defendant grew angry, started cussing in front of Mr. Berry and his child, and said, quote, "Fuck him." Alongside, when Mr. Berry asked the defendant to stop cursing, the defendant unprovokingly started striking him in the face with his closed fist. At that point, Mr. Berry fell onto the ground, which he struck his pavement, and that resulted in him having visible injuries on both his elbows with skin scrapes and swelling, and was also bruising to his right eye. Alongside, Mr. Berry stated that he had pain in his index finger when he was attempting to defend himself from the defendant's attacks. Alongside, there was a witness, Mr. Houston, John Houston, common spelling, who said he observed the two parties, and when she confirmed that the defendant struck Mr. Berry and it caused Mr. Berry to hit the pavement. Alongside, Mr. Ronald Jones, common spelling, also absolved the defendant striking Mr. Berry and said that during the attack, the defendant was clutching his shirt, trying to grab something, and he also told the defendant told Mr. Berry that he will kill him. At that point, Mr. Jones was unsure what the defendant was grabbing, but he never put it out. The state is recommending a $5,000 surety bond, 1-day anger awareness, alcohol, drugs, and weapons, a stay away from the 1542 Ralph David Abernathy Boulevard, Atlanta location, and no further contact with William Berry. Recommendations are based on these egregious acts. As we are concerned that the defendant will be a danger to the community. It has shown that he has a violent past and caused harm to others. As the trial has noted that in 2013, he did take a guilty plea for aggravated assault, which had a 6-year probation, which back in 2020, there was a probation revocation because of his violent behavior. Alongside in 2014, he has some battery guilty conviction, as well as a 2017 simple assault and civil battery guilty conviction, 17C on 026527J. And alongside, he also has an open case for aggravated assault from November 2021, 22 CP 205741. Alongside, we are concerned that it could be a flight risk. He does have FTAs from 2019, and he also has probation violations from 2019 and 2020, which shows that he will not comply with court orders. Thank you, Your Honor.
Is this your class, Ms. McLeod?
Yes, Your Honor, it is.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. My client is 26 years old. He denies the allegations made and the prosecutor's assessment of the facts. Your Honor, the failure to appears which have been mentioned, they were caused because my client was incarcerated at the time, so naturally he could not appear. He tells me that he has been out recently and he has been employed, he's been working. This warrant on which he was arrested, this is something that happened some time ago, Your Honor. He's no longer in touch with these people who I believe Mr. Berry was in some way connected to his mother. He tells me that he does not live around them anymore. He lives with a friend. So there is unlikely to be any contact going further. He just started a new job, Your Honor, working at a tire shop, he tells me, and he doesn't really have any money for bond. So I would like the court to take that into consideration in setting a bond for him, particularly the fact that this incident happened some time ago and that he's no longer in contact with these people. So therefore, he's really no longer a threat of any kind to them, Your Honor. If the court is not inclined to give him a signature bond, which I'm hoping that the court will consider, then as low a bond as possible because he does not have any money to pay for bond. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, it's going to be a $500 good bond. Stay away from the incident location, no further contact with the alleged victim, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good luck to you, Mr. Walker.
Next, we got number 2, Mr. Burkett Dukes.
Good afternoon, Mr. Burkett Dukes. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 22 CR 004475C with battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Third arrest. Last was May 2021, battery DV. It was non-pros. August 2020, I'm sorry. Armed robbery, ag assault with intent to rob, battery, death by taking, false imprisonment, kidnapping, and possession of a knife or a firearm during the commission. That is open. 20 CP 193583.
Okay, Ms. Mitchell.
Yes, Your Honor, in this case, the defendant battered his sister, Miss Deborah, spelled Debra Dukes, by punching her in the face multiple times, leaving her with a swollen left cheek and a busted lower lip. It started with a verbal dispute between the defendant and their mother, Miss Mary Burkett, spelled B-U-R-K-A-T, over $19,000 in cash from an insurance money owed to the defendant, or so he alleges. That's when Miss Dukes stepped in, the sister, telling the defendant not to talk to their mother like that. Defendant got angry and punched Miss Dukes in the face several times, causing her to fall. Once she was on the ground, the defendant continued to punch and scratch her face up. All punches, the mother stated all punches were directed to the sister's face. Your Honor, the state is recommending a $3,000 surety in this case. No further contact with the victim, Ms. Deborah Dukes. A stay away from incident location, 265 Barrington Drive East, Roswell, Georgia, which is where they all reside. It's our understanding it's the mother's home. A one-day anger awareness course, and no alcohol, drugs, and weapons. Your Honor, the battered family violence in 2021 that was no pros, that's heard from pretrial, that was actually a battery against the same victim, Miss Deborah Dukes, where the defendant punched her on the side of her forehead, leaving a swollen knot. Your Honor actually gave him a $2,000 surety in that case. So that is why we're requesting the $3,000 surety in this case. Also, our victim advocate had an opportunity to speak with the victim, and she stated that this wasn't the first time this happened. Again, it happened in 2021. The mother and the sister want no contact and a stay away. They plan to file a TPO against the defendant and states that the defendant is supposed to return to North Carolina, but I'm not sure what the reasoning is. And we've already heard from pretrial that the defendant has an open felony case where he was given a $57,000 surety bond in 2020. So based on the facts and the violent nature of this case, where he continued to beat his sister's face, we're recommending the surety bond. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Mitchell. Ms. Gant.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Charles Burkett Dukes is 19 years old. He informs me that he is a resident of Raleigh, North Carolina. However, he does have community ties. His mother and sister are here. He tells me that he was visiting on this date that this alleged incident occurred. Mr. Burkett does not have any children. He completed high school. He is currently in college, North Carolina ITT Technical Institute. He is studying cybersecurity. He is a sophomore and has a GPA of 3.1. He also works 2 jobs, part-time at Bojangles and part-time at In-Art Construction. Your Honor, my client denies the allegations. He is presumed innocent. I acknowledge my client's history. However, I would ask the court to take into consideration that that prior case was no pros, Your Honor. It's not a conviction. He is presumed innocent in any open cases. Again, he denies the allegations. He does not want any contact with his sister. So therefore, we are unopposed to the no contact and the stay away orders, but we would ask for a one-time law enforcement as he does have some belongings there. Your Honor, thank you.
Okay, it's going to be a $3,000 good bond, no further contact with Ms. Dukes. Stay away from the Barrington Drive address. He can go back there on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings that he might have there. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Mr. Dukes, please do not speak. We don't want you to jeopardize your case. I will give you a call.
How am I supposed to pay for it?
I will give you a call, sir.
Okay.
All right, good luck to you, sir. Who do we have next?
Number 6, Mr. Henderson.
Good afternoon, Mr. Henderson. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, that's great, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Henderson, you've been charged in case 22 CR 004481F with fair evasion and criminal trespass. See your history, Mr. Howard?
11 total. 2015 suspended license was the last. And before that was in the year 2000.
Okay. Ms. Mitchell?
Yes, Your Honor, there's a current bond. Well, for the record, the defendant was seen forcing his way through a fare gate at MARTA 5 Point Station, and he was also trespassing by being there on an active suspension that was set to expire July of this year, July 27th. There's a current bond of $2,000 surety, $1,000 to each count, and the state's going to request that that bond be reduced to a $2,000 signature bond with a stay away from MARTA and no alcohol, drugs, and weapons. Thank you.
Okay, so for the fare evasion, it's a $500 signature bond. For the criminal trespass, a $500 signature bond makes it a total of $1,000 signature bond through the jail. Abide by any active MARTA stayaways and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Does that suit you, Ms. Gant?
Absolutely. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, good luck to you, Mr. Henderson. If you've announced who this is, courtroom.
I'm sorry. Number 7, Mr. Jackson.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Jackson. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, sir. You've been charged in case 22 CR 004478F with criminal trespass. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
14 total.
Okay.
Last arrest was February for shoplifting. 2018 FTA for failure to leave campus. 2018 obstruction, failure to leave campus. Pled NOLO to trespass from 2017. 2016 theft of services conviction out of Muskogee County. 2015 shoplifting NOLO out of Clayton County. Theft by deception conviction. 2014 out of Griffin. 2013 obstruction conviction. And the obstruction first offender from 2011, Spalding County.
Okay, Ms. Mitchell?
Yes, Your Honor, in this case, the defendant trespassed at the Rockin' Taco located at 3247 Roswell Road, Northeast Atlanta, Georgia, property of George Rohrig, spelled R-O-H-R-I-G, by refusing to leave after being asked to do so several times by the owner, Mr. Rohrig. Officers found the defendant on the deck with a sleeping bag when they arrived on scene, and the defendant stated he wouldn't leave the property because, quote, this is his property since he's related to George Washington Carver. Your Honor, there's a current bond of $2,000 surety, and the state requests that bond be reduced to $1,000 surety with a stay away from Rockin' Taco, an MHET, a social worker visit for residential assistance, and no alcohol, drugs, and weapons. The reason we're requesting a surety bond in this case is because the defendant, based on his history, is a serial criminal trespass offender. He is a multi-state offender, so he has history in Georgia, Indiana, Kentucky, and Florida. He has a criminal trespass conviction in Florida in 2014, criminal trespass conviction in Georgia 2017. He has criminal trespass arrest in Indiana 2016, criminal trespass arrest Kentucky 2016, and in the other states the dispositions weren't listed, so I'm not sure if they were convictions or not. He had 2 arrests in Georgia for criminal trespass 2013, and then another one in 2015 in Georgia, in addition to the failure to leave campus in 2018. So based on that, we also have flight risk concerns. He does, aside from him being a multi-state offender and our concerns for his ties to the community, he has an outstanding warrant for FTA in Indiana and a fugitive charge in Kentucky. So we are recommending the surety bond. The MHET is based on his statement to the officers as far as his relations to George Washington Carver. And then the social worker visit because we're not sure of his residential situation. So thank you.
Ms. Gant.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. DeMarcus Jackson is 31 years old. He has been in the Atlanta, Georgia area his entire life. He doesn't have any children, but he does have family here, although he doesn't have any family who is able to help him with any bond. We are unopposed to the stay away at the incident location, Your Honor. Mr. Jackson completed 12th grade. He is unemployed and has been so for the past 6 months. My client disputes the allegations. I do not have any concerns about his competency. I had the luxury of interviewing him, Your Honor. He is residentially challenged and has been so, and I did have our social worker, Miss Nakasha Amin Williams, to speak to him prior to this hearing to give him some information about housing resources. We are opposed to the MHET. I do not believe that the state has put forth anything that's sufficient to warrant such, and again, he denies those allegations, making those statements as well, Your Honor. I am requesting a signature bond. This is a nonviolent offense. He is presumed innocent. He's not a flight risk. He doesn't have the means to leave the Atlanta area, and he does have community ties. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, it's going to be a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. You've already had a social worker visit with him for his housing. He's to stay away from the Rock and Taco, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Mr. Jackson, I'm going to let you out, but you can't go back to that Rock and Taco, okay? Okay. Good luck to you, Mr. Jackson.
All right. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Who do we have next?
Number 8, Mr. Jackson, Silvanus Jackson.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Jackson. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 22 CR 004480A with simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
This 10th arrest. Last was 2015 suspended license. It says he's on probation. Hold on real quick. That might be a typo. Yeah. 2015 suspended license. 2013 suspended license. I didn't see any violence.
Okay. Ms. Mitchell?
Yes, Your Honor, in this case, the defendant battered his live-in ex-girlfriend, Ms. Kimberly Thomas, by using his foot to push her head, by putting her in a headlock, and by throwing a coffee mug at her. Ms. Thomas stated the defendant had been drinking all night and he gets violent when he drinks. Officers actually responded to a domestic dispute call the night before where they had to separate both parties, the defendant and Ms. Thomas, and inform Ms. Thomas that they couldn't forcefully remove the defendant from the home, being that his residency was there. But they did tell the defendant to stay in a separate room and to not have any contact with Ms. Thomas. And then the following day, Ms. Thomas was in her room retrieving her clothes with the doors closed and locked, and the defendant used a screwdriver to break into her room and attack her. Your Honor, the state is recommending a $2,000 surety, no further contact with Ms. Thomas, a stay away from the incident location 909 Camelot Drive, South Fulton, Georgia, ADET, a one-day anger awareness, and no alcohol, drugs, and weapons. As heard from pretrial, the defendant does not have any violent history in his criminal history, but based on the violent nature of this and him breaking into her room after being told by officers the night before to stay separated and to stay away from her, we do have concerns for the victim and we are recommending the surety bond. Thank you.
Have you spoken with Ms. Thomas, your office?
We attempted to call her, but she didn't pick up, so we left a message.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Gant?
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Silvanus Jackson is 41 years old. He has been in the Atlanta, Georgia area his entire life. He has 2 children, ages 22 and 16. Your Honor, we are unopposed to the stay away at the incident location. Mr. Jackson also informed me that he does not want any contact with Ms. Thomas. Therefore, we're also unopposed to the no contact order. He does not need a one-time law enforcement escort. Your Honor, Mr. Jackson completed high school. He is currently employed at Kelt's Kitchen. He is full-time. He has been working that job for the last 2 months. Your Honor, my client denies the allegations. He informs me that the complaining witness, Ms. Thomas, actually attacked him and that he has scratches on his back and his arms. And he stated that he called the police on her to get her arrested a few months ago. And he states that in fact she was arrested. So apparently she has attacked my client prior to this. He's 41 years old. He doesn't have any history of violence. He denies these allegations. He's presumed innocent. I am requesting a signature bond on Mr. Jackson's behalf. He is recommended. He informs me that he is not on probation in Douglas County. Your Honor, we are opposed to the ADET. There isn't a sufficient basis to order that type of screening for my client. Again, we are unopposed to the no contact and the stay away orders, and we're requesting a signature bond, Your Honor. Thank you.
It's a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial, 1-day anger awareness, no further contact with Ms. Thomas, stay away from the Camelot Drive address, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Jackson.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Next, we got number 9, Mr. King.
Good afternoon, Mr. King. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. King. You've been charged in case 22 CR 004483E with simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
18 total. Last arrest was 2021. Possession of a knife or a firearm during a commission. Possession of a firearm by a convicted felon or felony first offender. 2 counts of selling marijuana. Criminal attempt to commit a felony. That's out of Clayton County. Let me see. He's on probation as of July 8th for the possession by a convicted felon, obstruction. What else? Selling marijuana. Hold on. Got probation violation from 2020, Clayton County. He got a simple battery. It says merged, but it was later was a conviction from 2019. Simple battery family violence. 2015 FTA, possession of marijuana. 2014 FTA, possession of marijuana. 2012 probation violation for drugs. 2012 failure to appear for simple battery family violence. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it.
Ms. Mitchell?
Yes, Your Honor, in this case, the defendant battered his 17-year-old daughter, Miss Ashley Stanley, by shoving her to the ground. It started when the defendant tried to attack the mother, Miss Precious Stanley. And while doing so, he shoved his daughter to the ground while she was trying to defend her mother. The other 17-year-old daughter, Miss Demetria, spelled Denetrya, Stanley, is the one who called the police in this incident. Your Honor, the state is recommending a $2,000 surety bond, no further contact with all victims in this case, Miss Ashley Stanley, Precious Stanley, and Demetria Stanley, a 1-day anger awareness, stay away from incident location 6150 Gwendolyn Drive, Atlanta, Georgia, and no alcohol, drugs, and weapons. Your Honor, the defendant is a convicted felon with a lot of felony drug convictions, but he does have the violent history as well. He has the simple battery family violence conviction in 2019, and then another simple battery family violence in 2008. He also has a simple those are convictions. He also has simple battery family violence arrest in 2012, and then a simple battery, another arrest in 2003. Although some of that may be remote, it's a clear showing that he has no issues battering those individuals in his family. And this is now his 4th simple battery family violence arrest. Our victim advocate did have an opportunity to speak with the mother, Miss Precious Stanley. And she did state that the defendant has been incarcerated since March of last year. So that will be in relation to the felony drug charge that he was recently convicted for in July 8th of this year. We also have flight risk concerns in regard to this defendant. He does have 5 failure to appears between 2012 and 2015. So based on that, his history and the nature of these allegations, we're recommending the $2,000 surety bond. Thank you.
Scott?
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Delario King is 37 years old. He has been in the Atlanta, Georgia area his entire life. He shares 5 children with Miss Precious Stanley, the mother of the complaining witness. Your Honor, the children are ages 17, 19, 15, 13, and 10. And my client has been incarcerated for 16 months away from his children and not in a position to contribute to the care of his children, Your Honor. We are requesting a signature bond just on that alone because he has been incarcerated. He doesn't have the means to get out and he needs to return to society in a gainful capacity to help support his family. Now, Your Honor, we are opposed to the stay away. I did reach out to Denitria Stanley. She lives in Texas now. She informs me that she wants to continue having contact with her father. I also spoke to Miss Precious Stanley. She informs me that she wants contact. I did not have the occasion to speak to Ashley. I had permission from Mr. King. Miss Precious Stanley informs me that Ashley is currently at work. Mr. King denies the allegations. This is something that is alleged to have occurred back in 2020. It's been almost 2 years. I am requesting a signature bond on his behalf, Your Honor. And if Your Honor determines that he is ineligible, then the lowest bond possible. And again, we are opposed to the no contact and the stay away orders. Thank you.
Okay, is this, give me a second. Is this Miss Precious Stanley that's on the phone?
She informed me that she would be.
Yes, it's me.
That's right.
Okay, good afternoon, Ms. Stanley. If you would like to address the court, I'll need for you to activate your camera for me, please. Okay, can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can put your hand down. What would you like to tell the court?
She just said everything I wanted to say. That we do want contact with him. We haven't seen him in almost 2 years. So that happened a long time ago.
Okay. And you're not afraid of him?
No, not at all. Not
Okay.
now one of us.
And are you still living at the 6150 Gwendolyn Drive address?
It's 6120. No, I don't stay there anymore.
Okay. Does your mother still live there?
I am the mother. Ashley is at work.
Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am. Okay. And have you spoken with Ashley regarding her father's return?
Yes.
Okay. And what does she say regarding that?
And she want to see her father.
Okay. All right. Anything further, ma'am?
No.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate it. As such, it's going to be a $5,000 signature bond through the jail. No further violent contact with Ashley Precious or Denitria Stanley. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. All right. Good luck to you, Mr. King.
You said through the jail?
Say it again?
You said through the jail, right?
Yes, through the jail.
Right, cool. Got number 11, Mr. McCrary.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. McCreary. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. McCreary, you've been charged in case 22 CR 004485E with fair evasion and criminal trespass. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Yeah, 7 total. Last arrest was 2011. Probation for shoplifting, and it was not prosecuted.
Okay, Ms. Mitchell.
Pretrial, do you have a history for Michigan and Tennessee as well? I have that.
See,
He's a multi-state. I just want to double check that.
no, I don't. Thank you.
Okay.
There's more.
Your Honor, the defendant was seen pushing through the emergency fare gate without paying the required fare. He was trespassing by being on MARTA property with an active suspension that was set to expire on August 28th of this year. There's a current bond of $2,000 surety, and the state requests that the bond be reduced to a $2,000 signature bond with a stay away from MARTA and no alcohol, drugs, and weapons. Although he wasn't showing prior history of criminal trespass in Georgia, it was showing in his Tennessee history. So we are recommending the $2,000 signature bond. Thank you.
All right, so it's going to be a $500 signature bond through the jail for each charge, making it a $1,000 signature bond through the jail. Abide by any active MARTA suspensions and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Does that suit you, Ms. Gant?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. McCrary.
Got number 4, Mr. Gillespie.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Gillespie. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Gillespie, you've been charged in case 22 CR 0044778 with criminal trespass. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
I don't have that file. We went to felony, so my coworker has it.
Okay. Do you have a history, Ms. Mitchell?
Yes, Your Honor, I have that he has 4 cycles in Georgia and 6 cycles in Tennessee. He has a felony case that's currently open for 2 counts of possession of firearm, 4 counts of possession of felony drug-related charges, and then a theft by receiving stolen property. And he, based on our record, he wasn't given a bond for that. And then I made note of a charge in 2013 that I won't sound on. I'll message it to you. But he also had a criminal trespass damage to property that was attached to that charge that he received a $1,500 surety bond on. Similar to the situation in this case, being that he damaged Mr. Jonathan Hunter's vehicle by pouring an unknown sticky syrup-like substance into the gas tank. So based on that and his history, we're recommending, well, there's a current $1,500 surety bond, and we're recommending that that bond remain the same with a no further contact with Mr. Hunter, a stay away from incident location 415 Morgan Falls Road, Sandy Springs, Georgia, and no alcohol, drugs, and weapons. Thank you.
His felony bond was $29,500, FYI.
Okay, thank you. Who's representing Mr. Gillespie? Ms. Kim, Ms. Gant,
You will be conflict attorney, Your Honor.
Ms.
I
McLeod.
believe, yes.
Ms. McLeod, are you with us?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm here.
Okay. This is position number 4, Mr. Gillespie. Have you been with us? Is your client?
Yes, he is my client, Your Honor.
Okay. You can proceed.
Just a moment, Your Honor, I have to look at my notes. Your Honor, Mr. Gillespie is 38 years old. He tells me that he has been living in Metro Atlanta for the past 11 years. He has 4 children ranging in age from 11 to 19. He tells me that he is gainfully employed. He has been in the same employment for 7 years. He denies the allegations that the prosecution has made against him, Your Honor. And I'd also like to point out to the court that this incident allegedly happened some time ago. So I would ask the court, given that this is not a family situation, that the court would consider giving him a signature bond.
Okay, it's going to be a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. No further contact with the alleged victim. Stay away from the incident location and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Gillespie.
And then we got number 17, Mr. Spivey.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mhm.
And I apologize, Your Honor, I was having a little bit of a problem with my computer.
Okay, no worries, Ms. McLeod. I just wanted to make sure that you were with us.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Spivey. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
How you doing today, Judge? And yes, I will. Yes, I do agree.
I'm doing well. Thank you, Mr. Spivey. You've been charged in case 22 CR 004490J with no tag, no active insurance, and driving while your license was suspended or revoked. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
13 total between Georgia and Florida. Last arrest, I'll do Georgia first. June 2022, FTA out of Forsyth County was not prosecuted. Another June, failed to appear out of Sandy Springs. 2021, criminal damage to property, 2nd degree. Trespass was dismissed. August 2021, FTA out of Forsyth. It says not prosecuted. Last arrest in Florida, 2019. It says BW vehicle registration failed to have. I don't know if that's a bench warrant or what. 2019, possession of a controlled substance, grand theft in the 3rd degree. Another 2019 bench warrant for petty theft. 2018 bench warrant for no tag on the vehicle. He also has possession of marijuana as well. That's it.
Mr. Segura?
This occurred yesterday, July 11th, 2022, at the Old National Highway in Sullivan Road, Atlanta. In this case, officers were patrolling the area of Old National Highway, in which they saw a defendant pass the police car with a, quote, test drive sticker instead of a license plate, and therefore the police activated their emergency equipment and then followed the defendant and had him pull over to the right shoulder. Once they made contact with the defendant, they notified the defendant the reason for the stop, in which the defendant stated that there should be a temp tag on the rear end. But when they came out and saw it, that was not the case. And when the police gained information, they found out that he had a suspended Florida license. Because of this, the state is recommending a $1,500 surety bond, $500 for the no tag, $500 for the no active insurance, and $1,000 for the driving while license suspended. Recommendations are based on these facts, and we also have concerns that it could be a flight risk. It does have those FTAs from 2021, that FTA from June 2022, and it does have an outstanding warrant for a February 2022 FTA. And also, we're concerned it could be a flight risk, as it does have that recent 2019 vehicle registration charge in Florida. And we're also concerned that he will be driving when he is out on bond, as based on the warrant, his license was suspended since November 2019, and he has been driving since then. And therefore, we feel that our conditions also have the conditions of no alcohol, drugs, and weapons while out on bond, and no driving without a valid license and valid insurance. Thank you.
Okay, so for the no tag, it's going to be a $250 signature bond. For the no insurance, a $500 signature bond. Suspended license, $500 signature bond. It's a $1,250 signature bond through the jail, and no driving without a valid license. Does that suit you, Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. Spivey.
And this is 18 and 19, Mr. Tyler Romas.
Good afternoon, Mr. Tyler Romas. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Yes, sir, I am.
Okay, thank you. You've been charged in case 22 CR 004492A with littering, loitering and prowling, and theft by receiving stolen property, and in case 22 CR 004493A with fair evasion and possession of marijuana less than an ounce. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
He wanted out of Fayette County, probation violation. 13 total. Last arrest was 2020, theft by receiving. On probation in Fayette. Theft by taking, they gave him 10 years of probation for that in 2013. On probation in Clayton County, 2 counts of unlawful to remove baggage cargo. I guess that's from the airport. And 3 counts of theft by taking. So he get off of probation for that in 2025. 2020 FTA for shoplifting. Let's see, what's the theft arrest? Got a battery conviction and hindering 911 call from 2018. Giving false name, obstruction conviction 2015. 2018, 2014 probation violation. Another 2014 probation. That's it.
Mr. Segura?
In regards to the first case began on September 11th, 2021, in which a security guard saw the defendant removing and throwing items from a suitcase by the entrance of the mortar located at 1200 Abernathy Road, Sandy Springs, and in which after the defendant was throwing out the items from 2 suitcases, the security guard saw the defendant carrying the suitcase, walking away with both suitcases. When the security guard saw what items were thrown, he saw there were clothes, books, papers, and shoes. And when asked, and police came to ask the defendant, he said that he came from the Atlanta airport. And being suspicious of this being stolen property, the police got a call from the victim, which was one of the owners of one of those suitcases, in which he said that he arrived from vacation to the Atlanta airport, but was not able to find the suitcase. And in regards to the second case, there's a call on yesterday, July 11th, 2022, at a mortar located at 2424 Piedmont Road, Atlanta, in which the defendant went to the Lindbergh mortar, pushed the fail gates without paying, and once the police made contact with him, they found out that he had a warrant out of Fayette County. And during a search, they found that he had marijuana on him in his backpack, along with 4 credit cards that had names of other people that were not his own. Because of this, we're asking for a total of a $3,000 surety bond, $500 for the littering, $500 for the loiter prowl, and $1,000 for the theft by receiving stolen property. We're also asking for $500 for the fail invasion and $500 for the possession of marijuana, for again the total of a $3,000 surety bond. We're asking for no alcohol, drugs, and weapons while the defendant is out on bond, and a stay away from all molestations. Allegations are based on his facts. There are concerns that the risk of reoffending, as Beatrice noted, that he does have a guilty conviction for an unlawful removal of a cargo from a bus, rail, and aircraft. And he also has theft by taking twice in 2019. Alongside a concern, it could be a fat risk, he does have that 2020 FTA. Alongside, he has a 2000 outstanding warrant for a May 2020 FTA as well. Alongside, he does have an arrest for 2020 theft by receiving stolen property arrest. Because of all these actions, we feel state feels that a surety bond is appropriate in this case. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Segura. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor, Mr. Kyler Romas is 27 years old, and he believes that he was actually in jail for 7 months, 2019, for same charges. So those are theft by receiving stolen properties, all that stuff. He believes that happened. And that's the very charge that he was in jail at Clayton County. And he says he has been here in Georgia for 24 years. He has twins right now who are 3 months, and he's engaged. He has all his family members here. He has been working at Kroger gas station from 2020, ever since he got out of the jail from Clayton County. And he is back to school to finish up his college degree. And he's been doing really well for the last 2 years. We would like to request for a signature on bond. And yet, if your honor is not inclined to give him a signature on bond, we would like to request for minimum $250 for each charge, totaling $1,250. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, so for position number 18, for the littering, a $250 good bond, for the loitering and prowling, a $250 good bond, and for the theft by receiving stolen property, a $500 good bond, making for a total of $1,000 good bond. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. For position number 19, for the fare evasion, it's going to be a $500 signature bond through the jail. For the marijuana possession, a $500 signature bond through the jail, which makes a total of $1,000 signature bond through the jail, and to abide by any active MARTA suspensions, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. Tyler, on this.
Thank you so much.
Next, we got number 20, Mr. Upkin.
Okay, so did you all get the update on Mr. Upkin, Mr. Segura? I believe that Ms. Lewis was telling me prior to court that there are some issues with the accusation in this matter, 2 warrants with the same information on it. I want to make sure that he doesn't, that we address whatever needs to be addressed and that he doesn't sit in jail on a charge that's not, that we don't process today. Did you receive that email?
I did receive that email and I made a phone call to the officer who wrote those warrants. And it is the one that's May 18th. That is the correct one. The ones that's listed as June 14th. Apparently that is false because there was an error in how his name was written. But so therefore only the May 18th one is correct.
Okay, so he apparently he has these charges on his jail screen. How we're going to resolve that so that he does not, does not have to sit in jail for those. Do we know? Do you have any suggestions, Ms. Lewis?
Yeah, they can go on NOD. Don't they NOD the warrant or NOD the case? It's the NOD. Not on docket, since it claims the same warrant.
How do you all want to proceed, Mr. Segura? With the June 14th, apparently that's the one that's at issue.
Yes.
Okay. Are you gonna NOD it?
Yeah, I could NOD that one.
Okay. All right. Let's make sure we do that since it's my understanding that's the same as the 518 that I'm about to hear. Is that correct?
Yes, it's exactly the same.
All right. So I just want to make sure that he's not sitting in jail on something that's on the jail screen. All right. Good afternoon, Mr. Upkin. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
How you doing, Your Honor? Yes, sir.
Yes, I'm fine. Thank you, Mr. Upkin. You've been charged in case 22 CR 004494F with battery. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
This is 8th arrest. Last was March 2021, probation violation for credit card forgery. March 2021, giving false name. 2018, probation for financial transaction fraud. You don't have any violence.
Okay.
That's all.
Mr. Segura?
It occurred on May 18th, 2022, which also responded to a call from a Miss Kristen McCready. Kristen spelled Kristen, McCready, McCrady, at the instant location of 1175 Peachtree Street, Northeast Atlanta. And when she told police that the defendant got out of a silver Honda and hit her in the face with his hand. This caused Miss McCready to fall back onto a bench and police came to see her. They noticed her injuries, which she had bleeding from the mouth, bleeding from elbows and her right knee, and she also complained of an injury to her abdomen, which she recently had surgery on. This whole incident was also caught on camera. The state is recommending a $5,000 surety bond on alcohol, drugs, and weapons, one-day anger awareness, and a further contact with Kristen McCready. Allegations are based on these facts, as well as concern by the safety of Ms. McCready, as based on the warrants, we have no reason as to why the defendant struck her, and as to what would happen to her in the future. Alongside, we have concerns based on 2018 and 2021, the defendant has probation violations. And so this kind of tells us that the defendant will not abide by any court orders, and thus we feel like a surety bond is appropriate in this case. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Segura. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Mr. Opkin is 32 years old, and he has been here in Georgia for all his life. He has a 4-year-old son, and he's married. His actually child's mother died last year, so he became a sole single parent who recently married. And he's also caretaker of his uncle. He's a full-time caretaker working for mentally challenged adults. He cooks and he dresses and he helps out everyday lives with those challenged individuals. And he's been doing that for the last 2 years. He has 11th grade of education. He does not believe that he actually hit the lady. He denies that allegation. He was just trying to gear away from the car. And we would like to request for a signature on bond, as pre-trial services also recommended, since this is his first violence case. Thank you, Your Honor.
Does he have any reason to go back to that Peachtree Street address or to be around Miss McCraby?
No.
Okay, so it's going to be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial. I don't have him on the list, but if he's not on the list, it's going to be per judge. One-day anger awareness, no further contact with Ms. McCraby, stay away from the Peachtree Street address, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. Upkin.
How much was that?
$2,000 signature.
Next up, position 22.
Good afternoon, Mr. Washington. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Washington, you've been charged in case 22 CR 004496Y with loitering and prowling, obstruction of a law enforcement officer, disorderly conduct, and terroristic threats. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
4 total. We got history out of DC, Virginia. Last arrest was March. Assault on a police officer. Failure to obey a lawful order. Hold on. I'm gonna go to DC history first. The disposition says no paper. I have no idea what that means. August 2021, simple assault. Disposition, destruction of property as well. Disposition says no paper. May 2021, simple assault, same disposition. 2020, destruction of property, vandalism. 2020, failure to appear. 2019, disorderly conduct. 2019, failure to appear. Another 2019, FTA. 2019, simple assault, guilty. 2014, simple assault. 2013, disorderly conduct. 2012, simple assault. 2011, civil protection order violation, that was guilty. All right, go to Virginia. Virginia, he had a assault and battery on law enforcement, resisting arrest, and intentional damage. That was 2015. Those are non-pros. Threatening phone, that's from the 90s. That's it.
Mr. Segura?
This occurred yesterday, on July 11, 2022, at the incident location of 222 Colonial Homes Drive, Northwest Atlanta. In this case, at approximately 1:30 a.m., police responded to a stolen vehicle in progress call at that instant location, in which they spoke with the witness call, and she stated that the defendant was walking down that instant location at about 1:20 a.m., intending to open car trunks with his hands. When police found the defendant, they found that he was trying to canvass the area. And when confronted, the defendant started to become irate. He began shouting profanity, said words like, quote, "I'll kill you," directly towards police officers, and attempted to spit on those officers. Once detained, the defendant refused to give the police his name and his date of birth, regardless how many times the police asked for it. And only when he was arrested and sent to the police station were they able to get his finger scanned and to find out his identity. Because of this, the state is recommending a $6,000 surety bond, $2,000 for the load of prowl, $1,000 for the obstruction to law enforcement officers, $1,000 to disorderly conduct, and $2,000 to terroristic threats. Foundations of business facts have concerns that the defendant is a flight risk as he is a multi-case offender. As Peter has noted, he has those simple assault cases from BC, and he also has the 2019 carrying a dangerous weapon, and he has also that 2020 FTA. So we're concerned about those being a flight risk, as well as the English community, because as Peter has noted, some of the simple assaults includes police officers, and as based on these facts, when the threats that the defendant said to police also was, quote, "I'll kill you." So because of this, we're asking for a surety bond. Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Kim?
Yes, Mr. Washington is 48 years old. He says that he was just passing through the Georgia. He's from Washington, D.C., and he has 3 adult children. He's married and he's retired. He has a high school diploma. But he is homeless. So I am actually recommending social worker services to visit him, and he will have behavioral health evaluation. So that way they can follow up with a caseworker that he has already in Washington, D.C. So we would like to request for a signature on bond since he has no financial means to pay for any kind of bond at this point. Even his adult children have not been had any contact for the last 2 years. And if your honor is not inclined to give him a signature on bond, we ask for maximum $1,000 surety bond, $250 for each charge, your honor.
All right, it's going to be a $500 good bond per charge, which makes it a total of a $2,000 good bond. Social worker services, stay away from the incident location, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank you, your honor.
Good luck to you, Mr. Washington. Okay, does that complete courtroom 2?
Yeah, Judge, that's everybody.
Is that everyone?
As far as we know.
Okay, well, thank you. I know we have number 1 left, so we're going to have a breakout room. Ms. Gant, are you there?
Yes, your honor.
In who's representing for the state on this?
That will be me, your honor.
Okay, Ms. Mitchell. Do we need anyone else in the breakout room?
And today Chief Alabi is supervising.
Okay, Ms. Alabi, if you can place us in a breakout room to discuss position number 1, please. Then I'll come back and we will call the calendar or go over the calendar. Right.
Between you got 5,000.
Is it 500 or 500?
500, Monday. Okay. Okay, so as soon as Ms. Lewis is ready, we'll go over the calendar. Thank you. It's 500.
Okay, can anybody hear me?
Is that a yes from someone? Ms. Lewis asked if you all could hear her.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
The reset date for the SAP is gonna be July the 26th. First, position number 1 is a $2,000 good bond. We set for SAP, we set for the compensation counter for August 11th. Sorry about that. So that's August 11th. Position number 2 is a $3,000 good bond. We set for SAP. Position number 3 is a $1,000 good bond. We set for SAP. Position number 4 is a $2,000 SOB through the jail. We set further notice. Position number 5 is a $2,000 through free trial. We set further notice. Position number 6 is a total of $1,000 SOB through the jail. We set further notice. Position number 7 is a $2,000 SOB through the jail. We set further notice. Position number 8 is a $3,000 SOB through pretrial. We set further notice. Position number 9 is a $5,000 SOB through pretrial. $5,000 SOB through the jail. We set further notice. Position number 10 is a split bond of $1,750. We set for SAP. Position number 11 is a $1,000 SOB through the jail. We set further notice. Position number 12 is a $3,000 SOB through the jail. We set further notice. Position number 13 is a $1,000 SOB through the jail. We set further notice. Position 14 is a $2,000 SOB through the jail. We set further notice. Position 15 is a $3,000 good bond. We set for SAP. Position number 16 is a $3,000 SOB through pretrial. We set further notice. Position 17 is a $1,250 SOB through the jail. We set further notice. Position 18 is a $1,000 good bond. We set for SAP. Position number 19 is a $1,000 SOB through the jail. That's going to be set to the SAP to keep up with the companion case. So both the cases will be on the SAP calendar. Position number 20 is a $2,000 SOB through pretrial per judge. We set further notice. Position 21 is a $500 good bond. We set for SAP further notice. Position 22 is a total of a $2,000 good bond. We set for SAP. And that's it.
All right. Any questions or concerns?
Yes, could you please tell me what position 4 was?
4 was a $2,000 SOB through the jail.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything else? All right. If not, you all have a safe afternoon. We'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Judge.
thank you.